Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. So here's the deal. Today I am playing Kavaero, Mind-Bitten in Standard, best of one. If you've been watching my most recent videos, you'll know that I absolutely hate this card and I've had a big grudge against it for some time. It's actually been ruining my experience on Arena. So then you might ask yourself, why are you playing it? Well, I want to get some more insight into this card. I want to find out how it actually ticks, because I know if I bring this deck onto the arena, some opponents are going to have some ways of stopping me, and that will give me some ideas about how this deck actually loses games. I also want to find out how mind-numbing or brain-dead this deck actually is to pilot, or how complicated the deck is actually to pilot. As you can see, I have not crafted the Oblivious Bookworm. I have not crafted all my Bringer of the Last Gifts. I am going to be crafting this deck right now and then bringing it into the arena. You're going to be seeing my first games with it, and we'll see if even a noob like me can pilot this deck in Diamond to a victory or not. The other deal is, well, Lorwyn is right on the cusp of releasing, and I've kind of run out of decks to play. I know a lot of things are going to be changing as soon as that set comes out, so, well, maybe changing, who knows. I'm sure this deck, however, will be about the same, so it's kind of neat to have a video featuring this deck on the channel. So how does this deck work? Well, the whole thing is we want to be reanimating crazy things with Kavaero. This thing says when it enters, it can enter as a copy of any card in any graveyard except its name is Kavaero. So we have our big things. We have Valgavoth. We would love to reanimate this once in a while. Arden can bring back crazy stuff. And then, of course, Living End, Bringer of the Last Gift. This is going to essentially be a kind of one-sided board wipe. We're going to remove all of the creatures on the board and resurrect our graveyard. So what we're going to have to watch out for is graveyard hate, and then of course maybe some counter spells, but of course we have some things like Cavern of Souls to help us get through that. So let's hop into some games and, well, see how this one goes. See you over there. All right, so I suppose in ways this villain arc has been a long time coming. This is a long overdue deck for me to play. I hope it's the right makeup of the deck. Opening hand looks good. We have stuff that we can put into the graveyard. We have ways of putting stuff in the graveyard. And then the Overlord of the Baelmerk is surely going to find us a Kavaero to play out on turn 4. All that good stuff, right? Opening hand is good. Okay. Put out a Watery Grave, pass it back to the opponent, we'll do stuff on turn 2. I guess it's probably over... Do you put out the Overlord or do you put out the Oblivious Bookworm first? I guess it depends on what the opponent is attacking with. A Rot Cursed Rakshasa. Pretty awesome from the opponent. Alright, so I'm going to slam down the Oblivious Bookworm, I think, first. And while I'm digging through my deck and filling up my graveyard... gotta say, sub up if you haven't done so already. I would appreciate that. We do have to get rid of that. And leave a comment down below. It is early access week. A lot of streamers have been playing the new cards from Lorwyn Eclipse, so very curious what cards you guys have been seeing, and if any of them have caught your eye, if you think they're interesting. I have been a little bit busy doing other stuff, so I haven't really been watching too much stuff with that, but I know the set does look cool. A lot of people do like it for Standard. Okay, from here, we are in trouble. We got an unstoppable slasher coming at us, so we're going to have to 2-for-1 ourselves, because I don't think I can really allow the unstoppable slasher to hit me. So I think probably this turn is going to be Steam Core Scholar, pitching the River Regent, maybe? No, pitching a Valgavoth. And okay, so now we are in the let's hope we find Kavaero this turn. It's still not Kavaero. So, opponents, when they play this deck, they always have it on turn 4. So, in theory, Kavaero should be my 45th card. I think that's how this tends to work. So I also could just put the River Steam Core Scholar in front of it. I'm kind of afraid that they're going to have removal for the double block. If we double block, they hit the Oblivious Bookworm with something like a Bitter Triumph, and then we're in trouble. This way, we can still chump block next turn, maybe with the Oblivious Bookworm, or discard something. And we'll see. We gotta... Oh, hey! So they don't actually always just find it. Insane. Okay. from here, I guess we will put out the forest. This allows us to Meringue River Region or Bitter Triumph if need be. So maybe from here, we have an op. Hey, hey, he showed up. That is kind of cool. We do not have the Bringer of the Last Gift. We do have the Valgavoth, though. The Valgavoth is huge because what we can do is we can bring back the Arden, the Valgavoth, and then start gaining a bunch of life. And that's going to be something that's going to be very hard for the opponent to deal with. They are loading up a Soulstone Sanctuary. Okay. So from here, we want to kill... Well, we got to kill it. We got to make sure we don't die. So let's hit the Unstoppable Slasher with this. I don't think I care about the Cavern of Souls, right? I can just cast out Kavaero anyways. So we'll throw that away. This will come back. It is what it is. And then I'm going to be taking 10 points of damage here. Can I take 10 points of damage? I think it's actually okay. Okay. They lose 2 life from their Cecil, not a big deal. But we, next turn, get to do the cool thing. Alright. So another Bitter Triumph. Our deck loving the Bitter Triumphs. And we get to find our Arden. With Arden, we could take a Rakshasa. That's kind of cool. But I think you just grab the Valgavoth, right? Valgavoth makes a 5/5 menace life-linking demon. Seems good. Draw a card, cash grab. What do we throw? Do we throw away the cash grab, I think, at this point? Okay. And now the opponent, 5 damage on board. They can use the Rot Curse Rakshasa to put the decay counters on our stuff, but they weren't actually going to be able to put the decay counter on this because of the ward to sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. Would have been pretty hard. Okay, we didn't see the Bringer of the Last Gift, but we saw one of Kavaero's dirty tricks. That's a start. I guess another thing I'm kind of trying to find out in this little course of videos is this deck actually fun to play secretly? Okay, we have okay lands. We got 1, 2, and then we can go Oblivious Bookworm can maybe find us a 3rd land. We will be in a little bit of trouble if we don't find that 3rd land, but I believe, and we are against an opponent that is maybe off to a very good start. Okay, that is our 4th land. I think that's fine. We'll keep that on top. So next turn, we're still going to go Willow Verge Rush into the Oblivious Bookworm, probably into an Awaken the Honored Dead to kill a... Oh, man, look at this. If they have the big worm... I'm forgetting what the worm's called. I've actually not been playing a ton of Magic over the last couple days, and I'm already forgetting these names of worms, of cards. As soon as I stop playing the game, I forget all these names. Kind of looks like that's happening, though. 5, 6 mana? 5 mana is not... Okay, hard casting a Overlord of the Huntwood. What an explosive turn 3 for the opponent. So unless the Kavaero deck, I think, has the exact Bringer when they need it, oh, this could be a big problem. Okay, they're not really attacking us this turn. So they just had a whole handful of mana dorks. That means that this is our only hope. This needs to be the Bringer of the Last Gift. So draw me 2 cards. Come on. Okay. So now all I have to do is survive. We take action. We may as well throw away this useless land. It's going to come in tapped, so we don't care about that. And as long as I don't die to that last card being Craterhoof Behemoth, then potentially I could be okay. But hey, anything can definitely happen in 2026 Magic. No, they load up their forest. Oh my goodness. Okay, they're still going to be in pretty good shape here, though. Like, they are going to have 5 mana, 6 mana after we do this Kavaero thing. but it'll depend if they actually just want to, if they want to stay in or if they're done with this. So this is the lame thing. Boom, bye bye. We bring back everything. We get a whole bunch of triggers. Is this fun? Where's my butter? I gotta hold up the butterfly. Is this fun? That's the meme, right? Uncle Iroh seems to think so. I had a quest, the 750 quest, the kill so many of your opponent's creatures, and immediately finished that quest. Wow. Okay, so this hand, we have the resurrection, we have the cards we want to resurrect, we have a little bit of removal, but we don't have any of the digging. So I feel like this is a risky one. I'm going to keep it because we do have the surveil land, and I'm going to believe in the top of my deck because really we only need one good piece. This card is not good because I cannot cast the Awaken the Honored Dead with this mana. So I think probably the Cavernous Souls, as much as it pains me to throw away a land when we are only on 2 lands, it is not the land that I want to see. And Town Greeter was equally not the card I want to see. I guess I need to be valuing green mana more so than anything else. But the opponent, a little bit of a slow start. Okay. Are we going to get up to the 8-card special where we just discard a card? Could be the case here. Ooh, I love seeing this. So we are against a Boros aggro deck, and we have done exactly what the Boros aggro deck needs us to do. We have stumbled hard. Now, had I kept, I mean, should I have kept the Cavern? Okay, at least we get the Steam Core Scholar here. Draw land. Okay, not. two tap lands. Not like that. Not like that game. Okay, from here, I think we are conserving our life total because we are at. Wow! I love it. Okay. We're seeing cool stuff. Actually, that is way more fun than what we did in the previous game. We got hit with a Hitasugu's last right, if I said that right. Exactly 10 life, and they domed us with the Demon Monkey smashing a sword over some candles. That's kind of cool. Talk about your cards that you just don't see coming, right? That getting hit by a last right is magical. This looks okay. We do have our turn 1 Watery Grave into the Willow Rush Verge. Wow. That'll let me put out the Bookworm, and then we can start, churning through our deck, putting the Valgavoth onto the field, and that kind of stuff. So hopefully they don't have 3 CMC or 3 damage removal for our poor Bookworm. And I suppose, yeah, you throw away Last Gift. What are we against? It looks like we are kind of against, I don't know, actually. Jeskai Control, but they have a really weird, janky start. Do you put out the Steam Core Scholar instead of the Baelmerk here? I think so. This is going to draw us 2 cards. They do have the Get Lost for our Bookworm. That's okay, I suppose. And it is definitely Jeskai Control. So we'll see if they find a blue. They do have their blue source, but they stock up. Huh. This puts me in a weird position. So do you do the Kavaero to bring back the Valgavoth? Or maybe you do both, right? You do the Bringer of the Last Gift. They're gonna have do they have board wipes? Okay. I think you attack first as well, right? Doesn't hurt to attack first as long as I'm not misunderstanding things. And we don't get the board wipe on their side. We kill our own thing, but we bring back this stuff. And yeah, okay. So they need Wrath of God, Day of Judgment. That's what it's called. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate, but not the worst. Kavaero is a human spider hero. So we'll name human. And then we'll just hardcast in Overlord of the Baelmerk. This will let us, I think it lets us grab our Kavaero just straight out of the bin again. So then we can do the same thing over and over again. From here, I guess we attack with the Overlord of the Baelmerk. Put some pressure on the opponent. Grab a second Kavaero. Boom, boom. And with the Cavern of Souls, I think I bring back the... Oh, opponent. What a Giga Chad with the flanker. You don't see that too often. So that's one of the cards that can come in to hose us. Maybe not the worst thing though. Still we have a 5/5, okay, a 5/5 and a 5/5 on the field. I'm gonna leave the Smuggler's Surprise on the top of my library. It can maybe give these two creatures hexproof and indestructible if they end up having a board wipe. Stuff sticking. So, okay. Let's just swing. Put more stuff into our graveyard with the Overlord of the Baelmerk, and I have to imagine they're going to chump block here. Those are all good cards. Let's grab the Scholar. How much is the... This costs 2. Okay. Let's grab the Scholar. It is a weird detective, not a human. Okay. Okay, 3 steps ahead, they are creating a token copy of that. So I could just Bitter Triumph, lose 3 life. I don't care about 3 life, I think. And then they're going to take 10 damage. That's pretty brutal. And I don't see a reason why I wouldn't do this. Just for fun. Let's see what's on the top of our deck. Maybe we find a land, but we didn't. And so now they need to kill both of these creatures. They need to board wipe us. We do have a way of giving hexproof to everything. They're going to bounce our stuff, but this does give hexproof, right? Power 4 or greater. Look at the Smuggler's Surprise coming in to save the day. And we have a victory against Jeskai Control, even through a board wipe. That's an interesting matchup. That's not something I would ever experience because, I mean, I'm not going to play this deck very often or at all. So bringing back all of the stuff and going into the turn for Day of Judgment, I wonder about that. Was that the right call? I think I had to do it. On a little side note, just for fun, for something to talk about here, we have our green source. We have our Overlord, but Overlord doesn't help me find lands. Keep it. On a side note, I finally got my hand on some physical product. I do not buy a whole lot or any physical Magic products, but I have been trying to get the Commander bundle for Avatar for a while, and I finally was able to get it for MSRP. I was able to get it at more than MSRP, but I did not want to pay over, and mostly because I want to make my own version. Doesn't matter what I put out. No, I want to make my own EDH allies all Avatar deck. That's the goal. Decline both? Do I want this? Decline both, I think. So I wanted to get like the special Arcane Signet. But the reason I'm showing this is because in this box, I did have one okay hit. I did manage to get this card. This, if you can manage to see it through glare or whatever, is the Fire Lord Azula foil special art card. And I'm kind of wondering whether or not I should unload this card, because I want to build Aang at the Crossroads, which actually, luckily enough, in that set I did also open a foil Aang at the Crossroads, so I was pretty happy about that. I was debating whether or not I wanted to make like a box opening video about this stuff, and I just ended up getting too excited. I was like, oh, I want to open it, I just got to open it, and I ended up opening it. But yeah, what would you do with this card? Do you think that this card, this Fire Lord Azula foil kind of special looking art, is going to go up in price, or is it going to just kind of hang out? Oh, well, what an interesting situation here. The opponent is, I don't know what they're playing. They're playing like maybe the Frost Cliff Siege combo thing, and I'm assuming that this is to counter my Kavaero, so I don't really want to try to bring back something. I kind of wish I brought back the Meringue now. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to put in the breeding pool tapped, and we are going to hold up the Bitter Triumph. Yeah, so anyways, if you got any opinions on Fire Lord Azula physical card, I don't think it's a commander that I would ever personally build, so I'm not overly attached to it, but it's like 40 bucks now, 35, 40 bucks, something like that. So it could be a good card to unload, but maybe the future of it's going to be good because I know she's quite a popular commander. A lot of people seem to be building her. Yeah. Are they going to try to bounce the Quantum Riddler? That'd be really great. Bounce the Quantum Riddler. Come on, Sergio. You know you're going to do it. I'm sitting here. I had nothing. Oh, they're just going to draw with their third Quantum Riddler. Okay, we're going to need this Overlord of the Baelmerk to do something in the future. Okay, I guess it's more slow. How slow, how passively do you play this deck, I guess is another question, because I know I have been accused of being a bit of a passive player in the past. Definitely doing that right now. Man, what a weird draw. We're not getting any of our 2 CMC stuff that allows us to start like cycling through our deck. They're not doing anything, so these cards are just dead cards in hand. We need ways of getting the Arden and the Bringer in the graveyard, but come on, opponent, do something. And you have to imagine that they're probably sitting on a 3 steps ahead. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 7 mana from the opponent. What do they do with 7 mana? They can do anything they want. And they do nothing. What? Are they afraid of me holding up mana? I do have 2 blue sources. Okay. Hey, there's a fear of missing out. It's something. So now we get maybe a little bit more information. They might pitch some things into the graveyard. They did have the splash portal. It's interesting that they didn't opt to do that at any point. Okay, let's awaken the Honored Dead. Try to blast the fear of missing out. And we still get to hold up the Bitter Triumph. So if they end up going out with a Quantum Riddler, it's a target for that, I suppose. They're just going to do a get out. Okay. I think I'm okay still. I mean, of course, we're going to try to attack it. And I have a feeling that they're going to have removal for our Overlord. No, they just have a bounce for it. Interesting. So, from here, I think I still cast it out for the impending one more time. Go through 5 more turns. Did they have a counter for it? They bounce it and they have a counter? Okay. Imagine running into Get Out. That is interesting. So now we're actually shields down, whether or not that's a thing that matters or not. But they are down to 2 cards. Okay, hard casting the Quantum Riddler. Draw 1. They have 2 mana open to them. We do have the Bringer in the graveyard. If we peel a Cavern of Souls off the top, it would be really great. No. You do it now, right? I think you have to do it now. And there's a good chance that they have 1 more counterspell, but what's the alternative? No. Okay, Kavaero. They have it. They had a mitt full of counterspells. 2 CMC counterspell. They had 3 get outs. That is actually kind of insane, right? All right, let's at very least do this, I suppose. Get rid of the Quantum Riddler. Their fear of missing out up to 3 Delirium, so they might start getting double combat very soon. But whoa, what a hand to run into. Double Splash Portal, get 3 get outs. And now they have the Thunder Trap Trainer, which I think lets them they just get to go and grab a non-land card from their top 4, and they grab a stock up. Okay. And a Storm Chase. Man, so they really did draw the end of their deck that they needed. And they're seemingly holding up. How much mana are they holding up? Get out of here. 2 mana. Do you think that last card is another counterspell? It kind of seems like it, right? Okay, let's go with the Awaken the Honored. It's not a counterspell. So it's a little bit surprising to me that they didn't put the Storm Chaser's talent onto the field there. And I think I'm just going to go this way. If you notice that our Cavern of Souls went into the graveyard. Now, if they had the 3rd get out, this is counter target enchantment or creature. They would have been able to counter the Awaken the Undead, but the Awaken the Undead just resolved. So I don't think... Oh, okay. Okay, they have it. They're ready for us. And we only play one... We only play one Cavern of Souls. So we are in trouble. 2, 4, 6, 7 potential mana? Nope. We get to mill 3. 2, 3. The 3rd phase, you may discard a card. When you do, return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. So, I guess this turn, we do allow the Kavaero to get countered. Let them use their get out. We know it's there. We have no choice. So they counter the get out. Fine. Then we put the Oblivious Bookworm onto the field. This should resolve, yep. And then next turn with the Awaken the Honored Dead, we should be able to go and grab the Kavaero that's in our graveyard, assuming they don't have a way of exiling our graveyard or drawing another get out. They do have 3 get out in the graveyard. 2, 4, 6, 7 mana available to them. So if they find a Storm Chaser's talent here, that's not going to be good enough. They don't have enough mana to play out the Storm Chaser's talent, level it up, and hold up the mana for get out. But I guess we just kind of have to try to do it, right? Okay, Storm Chaser's talent. There it is. They did find it. Storm Chaser's talent. Oh, maybe they do have the mana for it. They do. They actually have exactly the right amount of mana. So they are real gamers here. This is insane how well the opponent is kind of running against us. What can we do here? Although I get maybe I should have blocked the token. My mistake. Token would have been a much better block. So from here, I'm never going to get to hard cast a Bringer of the Last Gift. I could grab this. Do I grab the Cavern of Souls for a future thing, and then I slam the Awaken of the Honored Dead? I kind of don't hate it. I think this is the card that gets me to a victory. Without this card, I'm not going to be able to do anything. Okay, and I think we play this one out. They might end up just countering these Awaken the Honored Dead here. They know we grabbed the Cavern of Souls, so they know that this get out is going to lose value. Yeah. Smart play by the opponent. Okay. What a grindy game. Okay. Put this on human. And let's hope that our Oblivious Bookworm can hold off the opponent. We also do have this Overlord of the Baelmerk working up here. I think it's fine to do the cash grab right now. We miss. Okay, grab another Oblivious Bookworm. It's going to be a way for us to dig into our deck. Depending on how big these otters get, it might be better to hit one of them with the Bitter Triumph. I don't know about that though. I think we just got to get lucky. Is this what happens when you play an Is It deck and you have the answers to literally everything, and you just keep deflecting everything that your opponent does? Okay, they get a Storm Chaser's talent again, so they're gonna hit us quite hard with these otters rather. I was looking at the bookworm. This guy's listening to headphones, huh? Interesting. Stock up. So are they just going to try to put a lot of pressure on us? Is that their plan here? In which case, maybe it's literally me just praying to hit a Kavaero off the top of. We still have 3 left in our deck because I only have been playing with the 1 so far. Frostcliff Siege, there it is. So they get even more damage, and it doesn't give. Oh, it could give them all haste. Uh oh, and trample. Okay, so we're just dead. Actually, just dead. I appreciate what's going on the other side. They really held us off. The fact that they had those 3 get outs in the start of their deck and then drawing into like the rest of their deck really helped them out with this one, though. I think tough matchup. That's a lot of damage. Then again, they did have a lot of mana to do it. Ouch, 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 ouch. So counter magic. Be careful. We are only playing. Well, I wonder why the deck's only playing 1 Cavern of Souls. Okay, we got 2 more games left in us. Currently, we are 3-2, so not really making much headway here. Opening hand looks fine, though. And let's see what we surveil. I don't think we want a cash grab. We already got 1. We're going to be using that and the Overlord of the Baelmerk to try to find our Kavaero. If we can get down this Valgavoth, we'll be in pretty good shape. Duress for our Awaken. Okay. And there's a cash grab. Okay, so from here, I suppose it's going to be the Overlord in this spot. There's Kavaero, right on time. And so now we need to find a way of putting this Valgavoth or Bringer of the Last Gift into the graveyard, and then also find our 4th land. But it kind of looks like the opponent is playing a deck that the Bringer of the Last Gift might not be necessarily very good against. Okay. Breeding Pool, and we will cash grab on their turn. It's instant speed. We can do that. Grim Bauble. Is this going to be a weapon manufacturing deck? Oh. It's an Uncle Iroh deck. That means we are possibly going to get comboed. Okay. So they donate the T. They make a 1/1 ally. We're going to do our cash grab and find our land. But we don't want that. It's fine, actually, right? So Arden, yeah, this is fine. We'll leave those cards in the graveyard. Do we actually get the Harvester of Misery this turn? So I do that. I do this. I grab Arden. I grab with Arden the Bringer or Harvester of Misery. And we wipe out Iroh and the 2/2. And then we get in for 5 with this Menace creature. That's going to be pretty hard for the opponent to deal with. 2 Blooming Marshes in hand, kind of annoying, but maybe we'll have a way of discarding some stuff. But what do you do in this position? Beseech the Mirror, X4. Okay, you board wipe. So they're going to do Day of Judgment here. Rest in Peace. Okay. Okay, so no more discarding. We are playing this game honestly now. We still get to hit them for 9. And we can eat some food, but so the opponent needs to wipe the board, and then they need to get rid of the Overlord of the Baelmerk. I don't think this works though, right? Like, I think we are fine. I guess we don't kill them this turn. No, they gained a bunch of life there with that Greed's Gambit. It's actually a very good card for them. And I think we use the food, because if they have the Iroh, I'm pretty sure they would benefit from that. Kavaero, not great, but you know what Kavaero is? Kavaero is still a 4/4 attacker. I can put out the Kavaero. They might board wipe us, though. And I am going to get the Overlord of the Baelmerk, but if they end up Greed's Gambiting, they're going to have 3 blockers on the field. right? Because they're gonna have to sacrifice one. No, they'll have to sacrifice two. They'll have. Okay, I'm gonna put this. No, never mind. He would legend rule himself. I'm sitting here thinking that Kavaero can do literally anything, but Kavaero does have some stops. Interesting that the Iroh deck is playing main board. Of course, main board because best of one. Rest in peace though. So graveyard decks have now reached a point where Rest in Peace is warranted in the main board. Unhealthy format. That's what that means. I guess we're going to get hit by a Day of Judgment. We are 2 lands away from hard casting Bringer of the Last Gift, so that is potentially a thing. Yeah, there's the Day of Judgment, as we expected. But they are hemorrhaging life, so they do need to find a way of donating the Greed's Gambit to us. When this enchantment leaves the battlefield, you discard 3 lives. Yeah. Okay. So we do manage to just squeak by here. We get to remove the Greed's Gambit, would have domed them for 6 damage. But what an interesting matchup. So even through Rest in Peace, we squeaked by with a win. Okay, I got one more in me. Game number 7. K13 is my final opponent. See if we can climb a little bit higher. Hey, Town Greeter, first time the Town Greeter is actually showing up. This is a good card for finding our lands, which we've had some troubles doing. Opening hand looks fine, I think. And we are against a mysterious deck. I don't know what Boros mana means. It could mean so many things these days. But it is maybe Jeskai once again. Oh, I don't want to play against Jeskai again. I'm going to need to find a Cavern of Souls desperately from this Town Greeter. Please. It's not a Cavern of Souls, but the Town Greeter does give me a lot of options, and I may as well grab the Breeding Pool because I don't think the Jeskai control deck is going to put a lot of pressure on my life total, so I think I'll have enough time to, use my life as I need to. I don't need to be cautious with my life total. Okay, they are taking turn number 3 to stock up, which means, like, obviously we're not a threat. We don't have anything in our graveyard. And I guess it's just like Overlord of the Baelmerk and pray. Yeah. Okie doke, that's the plan. So Baelmerk onto the field. We find the Bookworm. Bookworms are always good. We can keep that for a future turn, although they do have Lightning Helixes in their deck, so I think probably this Bookworm hits and is immediately removed. One thing that I was kind of hoping was going to happen when I started this game was that I was going to be able to use Kavaero against my opponent's graveyard, but I just really haven't run into opponents that have interesting stuff in their graveyard. I think the matchups have been a little bit unfortunate. This deck is definitely like the game against the mono green deck. If you can find more Badger Molekub opponents, you're going to be able to feast on those cards, right? Lightning Helix on that creature is so much better than Lightning Helix on my Bookworm. I don't know about the opponent's decision to value hitting the, taking out a Town Greeter. It's doing 1 damage to you. What's the point? But it might mean that they have a whole bunch of stuff in their hand. I think I kind of want to cast this for its coil and catch. The thing is, I might not have an opportunity to do that. I don't think that's... Okay, I don't know which one to get rid of. What would you have discarded there? That's a weird position. Considering the matchup, they're not going to have a whole lot of creatures for us to remove. This Awaken the Honored Dead is going to be hard to resolve, but if I do get it on the field, it does help do everything that this deck wants to do. The problem is, if you don't know about this card, one quick little thing about Awaken the Honored Dead is a little bit of a warning to people who maybe don't have experience with it. And I'm sure some of you know exactly what I'm about to say. Let's grab the land. This says destroy target non-land permanent. That's a very, very important wording because it doesn't say destroy target non-land permanent an opponent controls. A lot of those cards would say that an opponent controls, and if it does say an opponent controls, then if you put it on the field and the opponent doesn't have any valid targets, then you don't have to worry about that. It'll just resolve. However, if I put this out right now, I would have to destroy one of my own things. So keep that in mind. Okay, this time around we get to maybe put the Valgavoth. I think I'd rather have the Valgavoth in the graveyard, to be honest. Do we have an Arden in there? We do have the Arden. Arden plus Valgavoth is really powerful with the haste. The problem is the opponent on now showing their true colors, Jeskai Black, is going to just kind of like sit here and wait and wait and wait. And we're going to have a really hard time resolving anything. They're at 25 life. We've made no headway against them as far as their life total goes. Part of me wants to cast this right now, but I'm not going to. I got to do it on their turn. I want to make my land drop, but it's not worth doing. I don't think this deck is playing graveyard hate, so I'm just going to load up my graveyard. And maybe we get to see a Terror of the Peaks kill. That would be real fun, wouldn't it? Also, I think I'm not valuing Smuggler's Surprise. I do have to be aware that this does have the sprees. For 6 mana, I could put Kavaero and something else onto the field on their turn. So we do have, in a way of giving our stuff haste if they tap out. I don't think this deck is ever going to tap out, but it is something to keep in mind. There's their Meringue River Regent, so they are playing some kind of interaction. Okay, let's do this end of the card. I don't know if they counter. They counter it if they have something small, if they have an efficient counter. No More Lies, for example, would be a really good card against me right now. Hey. And it looks like they are still holding up enough mana for 3 steps ahead. So I'm not comfortable just throwing my one and only Kavaero into it. But then again, when am I going to have a chance to get the Kavaero out? I don't know. I think it's still just Bookworm. Start digging through our deck. Okay, 2 on the field. Also, this Overlord of the Baelmerk is going to go, I don't know, how do you even say it? It's going to become live soon. Cash Grab. Cash Grab is instant speed. I can do it next turn. Awaken the Honored Dead. I don't think I'm going to get any value out of it. Let's throw it away. Give me a creature. Yeah, sure, fine. Okay, so now we have a board, 9 damage on board. That is a 3-turn clock against the opponent. So that's not something that they can ignore anymore. They're going to have to deal with it in some way. We've gone through a lot of our deck. 29 cards to 41 cards in library. This deck does definitely chew through things. And we have a huge graveyard. So if we end up resolving a Kavaero, then the Terror of the Peaks is probably going to do enough damage to kill them by itself. And this Cash Grab could potentially find our Cavern of Souls. We haven't milled it yet. Ultima. Okay. So it's going to end the turn. I need to do this now. I don't think it's... I was kind of debating the Smuggler's Surprise to, like, maybe save my Overlord of the Baelmerk. No, we miss. Okay, we still have a chance, though. Cavern of Souls, something like that. I could still save my Overlord. I just don't think it's worth it. They can go into the graveyard. And there's a Bringer. So I have to assume that they've left 3... Like, there's no question that this is a 3 steps ahead. Because they're 3 steps ahead. And that's just kind of the power of this Jeskai deck. If they get you under their thumb, because they were consistently making land drops. If this deck can consistently make land drops and then instantly draw, it's just like, what do you do? I don't know. In this position, do you actually just Kavaero? They're going to have so many. They're never going to tap out. So is there a point in doing it? 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I'm actually getting close to being able to hardcast this. I do have the mana to hardcast the Bringer of the Last Gift. Okay, I'm going to wait one more turn, I suppose. That'd be kind of fun. Just playing a Bringer of the Last Gift as a nice, honest card. What are the chances that gets to resolve, though? Okay, let's do this. Oh, we can't do it all. Okay, so Smuggler's Surprise. They have to counter it. I'm certain they have 3 steps ahead. They probably also have a Get Lost. They haven't played any, not Get Lost. Sorry, No More Lies. They probably have more No More Lies, and they probably have the 3 steps ahead. They did not overload that, so I think it's probably a sign that they have more 3 steps ahead. Let's just hardcast the Bringer of the Last Gift. Throw it onto the field. Let's go, baby. I didn't do any math, obviously, because why would I? But I'm quite certain that if this Bringer of the Last Gift resolves, the Terror of the Peaks in the graveyard is enough damage to kill them. And maybe they don't know. Maybe it's not enough damage. I think it's enough damage, but maybe they don't know that, and they're digging. They only have 2 mana. What? Oh, opponent. K13, come here. Listen to me. Somebody hardcasts a Bringer of the Last Gift. You don't concede. You let that happen. You let all of these creatures hit the field with the Terror of the Peaks. How could you rob me of that? I'm actually upset. All right, so Kavaero, we had a pretty good win rate, 5-2 in the end after these first 7 games, and it seems like you can just win with this deck even if you don't know what you're doing like me. However, I will fully admit that this deck is way more complicated, or at least a little bit more complicated than I would have initially assumed, and the micro decisions that you make while you're playing this deck are the thing that makes, turns this deck from a good deck into a fantastic deck. People that have a lot of experience with this deck are obviously going to climb the ladder with it very skillfully, and just anybody, though, could grab the deck and probably do pretty well with it until they start learning or seeing those small things that they need to keep in mind. For example, the value of green mana in your opening hand is huge, with the Oblivious Bookworm, the Town Greeter, and the Cash Grab, and also the Awaken the Honor Dead, all being the important enabler pieces of the deck, all requiring green mana. If you keep a hand that only has black and blue mana sources in it, you're going to have a bad time. And then, being able to play around some of the annoying things that your opponents are doing can make a lot of the decisions that you end up doing in this deck very important, or the decisions you end up making end up having a big impact on the overall outcome of the game, like it is with literally every deck in Magic. But I suppose some decks have more decisions, like some decks are more linear than other decks, and this deck ended up being less linear than I thought. Of course, in those games when you end up going up against the mono green deck, and the game plan is get Kavaero on the table by turn 4, and you put Bringer of the Last Gift into the graveyard on turn 3, whatever. Yeah, it does seem like a very linear deck, but the reality of it is that it doesn't actually kind of work out that way all that often, and you kind of have to use some of these different tools that are in the deck in different ways. I'm also just realizing right now that there was only 1 Meringue River Regent in the deck. I seem to see this card quite a bit, but I'm a little bit surprised by this. Now, this is a stock list from Untapped. This is a list that is performing well. That's the one I went with. Overall, I think it's fine, but yeah, there's a lot going on in this deck that makes it a little bit more complicated than I would have liked to have admitted previously. Is it fun? No, not. I didn't really find it all that interesting. In fact, there are some decks after I played them, I say at the end of the video, this is a deck that I'm going to keep playing in my free time. I don't see me going back and playing Kavaero, Bringer of the Last Gift. I didn't really see the appeal to it. It seems strong and you can climb with it, but I think I'd rather spend my time doing something else. And then what beats it? Well, if they can't obviously what beats it is somebody packing mainboard Graveyard Hate. But you can still get around mainboard Graveyard Hate. You can still get up to casting a 9 mana or 8 mana Bringer of the Last Gift from your hand if you need to. Or if you find Cavernous Souls, you don't really have to worry about counter magic, but counter magic is another big thing that you obviously have to worry about. So those are two things that I typically don't play in a lot of my decks, which might explain why I have so much trouble when I'm playing this deck. Playing against this deck. Anyways, that's it for the Kavaero gameplay. I don't know what's going to happen on Wednesday, I'll fully admit, because the set release always comes out at a weird time for me, and I have a hard time recording a video right away. So we might get a new video on Wednesday from Lorwyn Eclipse. You might get, I don't know, mono white auras if I just end up recording another video for Wednesday. And then on Friday, we will be fully into Lorwyn Eclipse decks and seeing what new stuff is coming out from that. Anyways, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you very much for sticking around and watching. I think it ended up being a bit of a long one. Take care for now, Saranga Ipana, and I will see you in Lorwyn. Bye-bye.